hunger using the skills we have previously learned so far. And to start the conversation out about hunger, I want to explore two extreme cases, or just two regular cases, really. The regular case is a lot of people, they struggle with food. Hunger is disconnected, it's a scary thing, they're uncertain, it's unpredictable, and they don't know where to start. On the other hand, we have people who trust their hunger, who just eat when they feel like it, who stop when they're full, who trust their hunger, who are in control. If they eat too much, it's not a big deal. Just the next meal, they're back to normal. How do we get from here, where we struggle with hunger, to here where we're in alignment with hunger? We're in alignment with hunger. So that's the question for today. And to start off, we're going to examine how a bad relationship with hunger begins and how it's not your fault. It's not your fault that if you do have a bad relationship with hunger, you're not doing anything wrong. We're going to examine how you got started off on the wrong foot and things got worse from there, and then how to start righting the ship, how to start getting into alignment. So let's get into things. Let's examine how hunger starts to be a negative experience. The most common thing that happens is for 12 to 15 years of your life, you've been eating food regularly, and now you enter middle school or high school. It could be another point in life, but for a lot of people, their problems with hunger start around this age. And what happens is, ignorantly, unknowingly, you try a diet. You try to lose weight. The magazines are telling you to lose weight. Your mom, your doctor, whatever. People are telling you to lose weight. You try to lose weight. You try to stop eating calories. You stop eating as much, and you do lose weight. And that gives you a feeling of control. Yes, I lost weight. But there's something that's really bad, is these food cravings come up. And food cravings, you're hungry. And you shouldn't eat because you're on a diet. But the problem is these hunger cravings overpower you. And then you stuff yourself with food. Or you just lose control another way. And so this is the story that happens for a lot of times. Hunger becomes this warning sign that a binge is about to happen, that you're about to lose control. Does that sound familiar? For a lot of people, it rings a deep bell. And now we know that dieting just doesn't work. But back in the day, we didn't know that. And so we unknowingly learned to distrust hunger. After we binged ate, we'd think, oh my God, it's my fault. Something's wrong with me. And then our memory, we'd remember, oh, that feeling of hunger, that terrible hunger, that urgency, that is some scary stuff. I better control that. I need to control that. So we got off on the wrong foot when we tried to decrease our calorie consumption to lose weight. That just causes binge eating. And now we're righting the ship. How do we right the ship? First, we need to understand our assumptions and beliefs around hunger. I met this one woman who, her association with hunger, her belief about hunger was that if she felt hungry, it meant that she was going to be lightheaded. She was not eating regularly. So 8 hours would go by, sometimes even close to a day would go by, and she would start feeling really lightheaded, like nauseous and whoa. And she'd also, when she got lightheaded, she also would notice that she was starving. So she started connecting the dots that hunger equaled lightheadedness. Other people associate hunger with fear that a binge is coming on, and other people just believe hunger is out of control. So what do you believe about hunger? Now, that's where we're going to start. What do you believe about hunger? Now, hopefully we can start to see that oftentimes if you're afraid of hunger, if you distrust hunger, it's an emotional association built upon the wrong paradigm of dieting. When you're in dieting mentality, of course hunger is scary. Of course, over years of trying to diet, you would be afraid of your hunger. That's natural. But what we are doing is doing something entirely different. And we're going to get started on some practical exercises today. Um, the first thing we have to realize is that hunger keeps you alive. It's been around for millions of years, and it's something that is meant to keep you alive. So, um, the good news is that if we listen to our body, hunger can actually be a positive experience that feels very good. So let's dive into things, into some practical nitty-gritty steps on how to get in alignment from disordered hunger and distrust with hunger to alignment with hunger. That step begins with thinking about real quick when you're feeling hungry, when you're urgently hungry and you're starving. Think about it. Did that just instantly happen? Did you just eat a full meal and then just get instantly hungry in 1 second? No. You get painfully hungry, you get urgently hungry over time. There's a scale, there's a range. And just like we're learning earlier with our feelings, we're asking, what do I need now? What am I feeling now? What am I feeling in our body? Our body is going to give us gradual cues. Sometimes they even say that our hunger speaks to us. Our hunger is going to speak to us in gradually louder voices. So in the beginning, hunger is going to whisper, hey, 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 hey. And eventually hunger is going to be yelling for your attention, feed me. And the problem is that when the hunger is yelling at you, feed me, it's a negative experience. It's very painful. If you imagine a baby, at first they just kind of look at you, maybe they kind of make some sounds, feed me, feed me. But then eventually the baby's starting to cry, rah, feed me. It's negative. If we wait too long, the hunger is unpleasant. But up in this range, the hunger is actually quite pleasant. And that's what we want to start tuning into. If you do go into negative hunger, where it feels hurtful or it's too stressful, it doesn't mean you screwed up. It just is a learning. It's something that you want to reflect and use your growth mindset on for next time. What were the signs that I missed? Because hunger never skips a beat. It's always gradual. So, for example, here are some more in-depth things we can look for. You remember how for emotions we talked about if it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? And that's just like a vague feeling. And then we drill down. Where are you feeling sadness? Where are you feeling stress? In your stomach, in your heart, in your eyes, in your shoulders. We got very specific. Same thing with hunger. We're looking for this general thing. And in the beginning, we're going to be looking for little gurgles in the stomach, maybe a feeling of space, maybe a feeling of emptiness. It could be a growl. Some people start to experience hunger in their temples, or they start getting a little headache. Oftentimes it's a feeling in your stomach. So as we start to really make sense of hunger, we first start by listening to these little subtle signs that you're getting hungry. Your body's going to give you messages that it's time to eat. Now, this is where this is how we integrate it with the meal structure. The meal structure has a window of time. It's flexible, and we want to wait until hunger feels good. Ideally, this is ideal. Don't get upset. Don't get all perfectionistic and try to make too much sense of this. We're just gonna, every meal you have another chance to make more and more sense of this hunger picture. So here's how it goes. You start off, you're trying to listen for hunger, trying to listen to your body, trying to listen to your gut, trying to feel out your hunger. And then you start noticing, here are some signs that good hunger is happening. Good hunger is where you start to get an appetite. Like your mouth starts to salivate. Maybe you even perk up. This feels good, by the way. This is a good feeling. It's like, oh, I'm hungry. It's time to eat. Yay! Sometimes you start thinking about food, but it's not an obsessive thinking. It's just like, oh, food. Oh, hunger. So you might start to think, you might start to salivate, your energy might just start to perk up. These are signs that you're in the good stage of hunger and that when you eat, it's the right time to eat. If you imagine a scale from 1 to 10, and at the bottom is total empty belly, like starvation. And imagine 5 is neutral. You're very neutral. Like you just ate, it's been like, let's say like an hour after you just ate a really good meal. You're neutral. You're not hungry. You're not full. You're neutral. So we have starving on the bottom. We have neutral right here. Comfortable belly, no sensations in your belly, very little. Right around a 3 or a 2.5, right around that halfway between starving and comfortably full. If you're between this range where you're neutral to 2.5, that's going to be comfortable. But as soon as you start going towards those, towards starvation, you get under. Hunger starts off gradual. Your belly's making these little gurgles. Maybe your belly starts to feel like it's empty, and you're starting to perk up. You're starting to get energy. Like you're starting to think about food. These are signs that it's time to eat. Now is the right time. If you miss these signs, your body will start to get your attention in a negative way. It'll start to, oh man, it's been too long since I ate. Oh man, it's your body's starting to really panic. It's starting to panic. When am I next gonna eat? The body's been, imagine someone knocking on your door. Knock, 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 knock. At first the knocking and it's just knock, knock, knock. They ring the doorbell. And eventually, if you don't listen to the doorbell, ding, 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 ding. The hunger is going to be screaming for your attention. Feed me. So we don't want to wait till our belly is screaming at us. We want to catch the hunger much quicker before that. Okay? And this takes practice. This is why we got to have a growth mindset. Sometimes we are going to drop into ravenous hunger, and then we got to reflect. What happened? What can I do differently next time? What events led up to this? And how does it feel? What does it feel like? And then, so those are the primary steps. The basic training is noticing, is this hunger pleasant versus unpleasant hunger? You want to start studying, when is hunger pleasant? It'll actually feel good. Versus when does hunger feel unpleasant? That's the basic thing we're trying to study right now. Trying to feel, and hunger is sometimes not just in your belly. Sometimes it's salivation in your mouth or a dry mouth. So we're really trying to get in touch with hunger. And then there's one more thing that's very useful. It's the difference between emotional hunger versus real hunger. Emotional hunger is where, for example, let's say you eat a big meal and you're just not even hungry. And then you're walking down the street and a big sign has like ice cream sandwiches or something. And all of a sudden your mouth starts to water, these images get through your mind, and the cravings are just all up here. These cravings, you feel this irresistible need to grab the ice cream bar and wolf it down, and then you feel guilty afterwards. So that scenario, very, very common. It has 4 characteristics, 3 or 4. First, it's all up here. It's in your head, right? Emotional hunger is oftentimes in your head. It's like you're thinking and it seems like it's really good. It's like a fantasy. It's in your head. Number 2, it's instant. It's like you weren't even thinking about food. And then, bam, all of a sudden, it's in your face. You're thinking about food. You can't get out. It's instant. Number 3, it's marked by rapid eating. Usually for a specific food. This is key. Emotional hunger is like you want that food. You want that specific food. As opposed to real hunger, which is, okay, I'm open to ideas. I'll have whatever's kind of coming up. And then finally, there's guilt. Okay, it's an unpleasant, rushed eating experience, and there's guilt afterwards. These are the 4 signs. In your head, it's rapid, it's specific food, and you feel guilty afterwards. And these are cues, these are signs that you need to start distinguishing, because we need you to stand up to emotional hunger. So let's go over real hunger real quick too. Real hunger is basically the opposite. Instead of instant, remember, it's gradual. It gradually gets bigger in your stomach, and it's a felt sense in your stomach. That's how you can trust it, that it's real hunger. Number two, um, it's not in your head, it's also in your gut. So it's gradual, but it's in your gut. Emotional hunger is usually up here, it's thinking, it's in your mouth. Real hunger is you feel it in your gut a bit. Number three, you're not just obsessed about one food. You're open to a variety of foods. Number four, you feel fine afterwards. Okay? So this is really huge training right here. As we listen to hunger, we are going to get hit left and right. It's like a boxer. There's going to be punches thrown at us. And some I don't even want to say punches. Some of the energies we experience, they're going to be real hunger. And we need to respect that. If it's remember the food meal plan. If we have a gap between like 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. or something like that, we have 2 hours. If it's 12 p.m. and your belly is telling you that it's positive hunger, we need to respect and eat when it's positive hunger, ideally. And if you're not hungry yet, if you're still neutral, then you can wait until you are hungry. It's a flexible plan that incorporates how you feel. Really, really important. But in between meals, in between just living your day to day, you are going to be hit. Someone's going to punch you with emotional hunger. Listen, let's be honest. Food marketing spends $10 billion a year. They throw images at you. They throw smells. They throw dollar signs and discounts, deals, magazines. There's tons of marketing aimed to get you to emotionally eat. And you need to know the warning signs. Does this happen instantly? Because you need to be able to question yourself. You need to be able to stop, pause, and say, holy crap, wait, I'm all of a sudden hungry. What's up with this? Do I really need to eat right now? Because I wasn't hungry before, but now I am. And wait a minute, it's for this specific food. Like, I just want this specific food. If you just start craving a specific food, guess what? A marketing company has most likely somehow gotten to you. They've triggered you somehow, and now you're doing an automatic pattern where you're eating, and most likely you're stressed out and you're trying to avoid stress. All right? So you need to be able to at least realize, holy crap, I'm about to emotionally eat. It's for a specific food. I'm stressed out right now. All this stuff is up here in my head. It came on instantly. I just want to get rid of the stress. You need to stop and really think, would this food even make me feel good? I mean, it'd be one thing if the food made you feel good. That'd be great, right? Like if you stressed ate and then you felt better after it, that would be great, but it doesn't even feel good afterwards. And when you're eating it, you're freaking miserable too. So it's a total lose-lose situation. Why? It doesn't make any sense, but that's the pattern we got to get out of. And we get out of it by realizing, no, I'm not hungry right now. I'm stressed. What do I need right now? Right? What do I need right now? Not the food. The food is not the thing. The food is this mirage. It's an illusion. But what we need right now is love. We need to identify what we're actually feeling. Is it stress? Is it sadness? Is it anger? What are we feeling? Journal about it. Get clear. Go on a walk. This is the hardest part about feeling what you actually need and then meeting it. So those are the two things. Let's study hunger. Study pleasant hunger, study unpleasant hunger. Start to really try to understand when the right time is to eat. And then the second thing is understanding emotional hunger versus emotional hunger versus real hunger. And trying to stand up to emotional hunger and meet your needs instead of emotionally eating. And then on the other hand, paying attention to the signs of gradual hunger, of hunger that builds up over time, that feels good, that doesn't feel guilt after you eat. And this is how, the more we can listen to real hunger, this is how our body starts to build trust with hunger. Basically, even if you're incredibly distrustful with hunger, as you get experiences, you got 3 or 4 experiences each day to rewire your brain. And every positive experience you have with real hunger, every time you feel real hunger and you feed yourself and you get satisfied, that your brain is starting to make connections that real hunger is okay. The problem is that people, they get tricked by emotional hunger, or they're just not eating stable, so the binges happen. They just, yeah. So we can learn to trust hunger, okay? And that's, as we learn to trust hunger, then we're going to start to grow our brain chemistry to where eventually we're just basically at peace with food. Yeah, that's where we're going. So pay attention to hunger and the difference between emotional hunger. Doing great. All right. See you in the next lesson.